y'all. So I'm going to be going over the gold trade that I've been in since, what was it? The third? Or was it the fourth? No, the fourth. I've been in the trade since the third is when I entered this trade. So um let's get into this. I'm going to erase all this here. So you want to take a quick look, and I think I have notes everywhere on here. And so I'm just gonna delete everything and let's just go through my process. With this trade, y'all, before I get started, with this trade, I and I'm going to adjust in the future, but everything went well with this trade. The entry was great. I held really great, but I didn't get out when I should have gotten out. So that's the gist of it, and y'all see what I'm referring to. So, um, kind of set up this, and my computer is lagging so much. Speed up a little bit. Shout out to the subscriber who commented and said I wasn't speaking loud enough. So hopefully now my voice is louder, and hopefully everything isn't dragging as much as it's doing. Let me see if it's because I got all this stuff up. I'm about to get started. Okay. So this is the daily, and in the daily we have the higher high here. Ew, lowercase. Higher high. We have a higher low. This is an overall lower high in the daily. Okay. And so all that being said, I know that I'm gonna go with that. Oops. With that, I know from 43.81 and down, prices in control by sellers. I know price anywhere from 38.86 and above is in control by buyers. Okay. I'm going to go down to the 4-hour. And where is it at? Okay, here it is. Trying to think of where the setup even came from. So this was the most recent swing, right? Was this one here? Came down, created a higher low, lower high, higher low, and then price pushed back up to get here. And it created a new higher high, right? So this is in the 4-hour. We have this 42.64. That is our new high. And that we know that anything and below, price is getting pushed down. And then from 41.63 and above is in control by buyers. Buyers are pushing it back up. All right. My setup came in, I think it was in the hour. So we go here. Oh, it came from this one because mind you, this just happened and all this stuff was later on. So this was an hour swing high and low that I got. So from here, this 141.93 Okay, I'm gonna turn that red. And I'm gonna make it a little bit thicker. Okay. And then this was the low. I'm gonna turn that green. So this low created this high, which this high created this higher low, which this higher low then created this higher high. Okay, so I'm gonna put that in here. This is a higher low. We have a higher high, higher low here. And then this up here was the new higher high. All right. This here with price breaking above this higher low, that created my indication. So that indication, the indication went from 141.93 all the way up to 42.64. Okay. And it stopped. The correction came here. And so, excuse me. So this was the higher high. This higher high created a higher low, which 41.63 is $10 more and some change, but overall $10 more than 41.53, right? So this is my, excuse me, my higher low. All right. This, oh, and then actually, let me not. Which it is. This is still a higher low because it is higher than this. However, because I counted this also just as a correction, but this could have been considered. I'm gonna keep it at this. But this right here is also a level of buyer. So this can be considered the higher low. I'm gonna keep it at that. Okay. And then this right here is a lower high, but I marked these as equal lows, but lower high here. Okay. So this came down, stopped here, creating a higher low, and then made a lower high. This came down, made a overall lower low, but we know in the 4 hour, if we were to go up, this is it in 4 hour? This is marked as a higher low. Let's put that here. Okay, it's marked as a higher low in the 4 hour. So, but in this instance, it created a lower low. But in the gist of it, I'm just going to say, since this isn't really marked, but when I was trading or when I was, looking at it, I considered this a higher high, a higher low. This created a lower high, then a lower low was created. A new lower high was created. This was the higher low. This was the new high. Okay. So I'm going to just keep it that way because that's literally how, in my head, how it was. And we know this is a higher low. Okay. But just keep that in mind. But when I'm going down and like to a smaller time frames, I'm just trying to keep up with this trend here. Oh, what is that? Lower high. Lower low. Okay. Which this lower low created a lower high. But then this lower high created a higher low. And I'm going to take these pivots off. Okay. Here. All right. And then this higher low, because if I was to put a line up here like this, boom, right? So again, bring this. And kind of do a little pad in a little bit. But this right here, this higher low created a new high, right? And this mark right here let me know as another indication within here that price wants to continue up. This is just another indication for me, right? And with this line, just as a reminder with these lower highs, just right here, we know that from here on down, price isn't controlled by sellers because it is not allowing price to come past here. It went from here, got pushed right back down, came back up, got pushed right back down, got pushed back up, broke past this. This is letting us know buyers like, nope, we got control above this here now. We'll be back. We're gonna come back for you. Okay. So then from here, it corrected itself. And guess what? It created a higher low. Did not mean to bring this line over, but created this higher low. And I'm trying to think where my actual entry was, and I think it was here. No, actually, I put in a stop loss, y'all. So when price, I had already entered it in, taking my chances. But my entry was here because this was the first candle and bought. It freaked me out. It scared me. So I entered here. Let me see. Yes, this is where I entered because it's at 10 o'clock at night. Why was I taking trades this late? Don't ask, but I was. So my entry was here with this higher low. Is that two? And it was at this indication line. I truly hope. I truly hope. I'm still recording. I pressed pause. And the last time I did that and I came back, it went blank screen. So I just hope that this is still here. All right, so I'm gonna show you where I had my TP, which was at this was my setup, and then my stop loss was here. So this was the overall entry, okay? And then we can go down to like the 30 and the 5, and we'll continue to track this here. But as y'all can see, we'll go into a little bit more detail. But going forward for me, let me get this. Going forward for me will be looking at this. I should have had my TP down here. This is where price came and closed and got pushed down. Yes, these wicks are here. Great. However, this is just letting me know that price, especially with this candle here, being that high point, is letting me know that price was here, but it got pushed all the way down. And I don't know what y'all call this, but that's either what is that, a golf stick, upside down something. But this is a great candle. Let me highlight it. This candle right here is a great candle letting me know that at this top level, sellers ain't having it and they pushed it down. That is a key candle. I forgot what it's called, but you know what another key candle for me was? This one, and I did not pay any mind. We have a doji candle, Tan. Family, I had a doji candle at a top of a bullish trend. Alert, alert. Do you not see this? This trend, I think, is called a morning star or evening star. I think it's a morning star. It's at the top of a uptrend, and it is followed by like this bullish candle, a doji candle, and it really doesn't matter bullish or bearish, and followed by an engulfing candle. Crazy work. Crazy work. But I seen this and I held and I held. Also, I'm gonna go back just a little bit in the 4 because with this being a new high, you could have added any entries. I think this was it here because I had this marked as well because this was the previous high and price pushed above that, right? So I did enter into another. See, I entered into another trade here, and I think my stop loss was about here. Yep. Um, and with this one, I was going to just do a little past TP, nothing much, nothing extreme. Actually, I think I had it at 80. Nothing too bogus, just a little poo poo. But yeah, that's how that trade ended. I ended up with my first position, I earned $20 or $21. And then with this trade, I risked a lot more. So I think I lost around 30. So overall I lost about $10. My small account started with $95. So with like commissions and all that, I'm at $82. When I could have, should have, would have had, I think around $80. Just with simple things. So there was nothing wrong with my entry. There was nothing wrong with the trend itself. This was a good swing. I just didn't exit. That was it. But I do want to go a little bit uh into just looking at how this like played out and just monitoring these. Oh, let's go back to the app real quick because I am really, and I'm gonna take these off, y'all. I'm really trying to understand like when those corrections end. So let me get my path tool out. So price came from here, bounce, boom. We made this indication. Indication ended here. Price came back down, made this higher low, came back above this level where buyers are in control, but created a lower high, right? Price did push back down under a level where sellers are in control, but a new set of buyers was sitting here. Price got pushed back up, created another lower high, and sellers tried to push price back down and they could not. And they closed above a level again where buyers are in control. Buyers then pushed up past a level where sellers were in control, making that indication. Sellers did and was able to push price back down, but created this higher low. And this right here could have been an entry for you all after this higher low was created. And this is where you could have entered at. And then again, the continuation to the upside. Okay, so that's the overall trend. Yeah, my son's right here. You need to be asleep. You need to go get in bed. Yes. Go get in bed, please. All right, thank you. You're such a big boy. Um, Also, some other things. I am ICC down. We ICC family. Don't get that twisted. But I also, before I even went to ICC, I was doing supply and demand, and who I learned from was her trading journal. And so I want to kind of show y'all a little thing that I learned from her as far as zones with her supply and demand and when she enters a trade. So with this indication, right, this big push, I wanted to look for the most recent zone or the most recent bearish candle. And this is letting us know where sellers tried to push price down and they weren't able to. This candle right here was the last bearish candle. So we will mark that full candle like so. All right. And with her trading journal, I feel like everything is one and the same. So can't with her, price pushed out and broke. It has to break a level or it has to continue a trend. So this pushed above a recent high, creating a new high, right? Cool. Now we have to wait on price to come back down and tap into this zone. If it don't tap into the zone, then you don't enter into the trade. So even though with this here, even though this came above where buyers are in control, you would not enter into buys here because it did not tap into the zone. So until it taps into the zone, okay, it has to tap in here. Once it taps, that is when you can either hers, I think it's you can enter as soon as you get a tap. That's risky. You can wait on candle closure, or you can wait on a candle closure outside the zone as far as entries. Okay. She does this in the 5 minute and stuff, and so I'll show you an example of that too. But so let's just say using hers, we entered as soon as like outside of here, right? No, just leave this. So that is what her thing is, and of course, waiting on it to go back to the top like it did, right? Um, like that. And so if even if you did that, and she does this where we could have been entered here, where it tapped, stop loss would have been here, and then TP would have been there, and that would have been the trade. So I kind of mix them too. I like ICC for the overall understanding and just the basics of everything, but I still use a little bit of supply and demand to kind of help me on entries. And again here, so even if you miss this entry here, guess what? It tapped right back into that zone again. Another good entry for you to go ahead and enter right there. Now with side, and of course, this is what I did with him, and this is definitely on the safer side. He's wanting us, especially as beginners, to close above where we know buyers are in control. Yes, that might mean our stop loss needs to be a little bit more down, but that's fine. Because if, like he said, if you watch his most recent video, the stop loss really isn't like a big thing because if market structure is doing what market is supposed to be doing, then you all good. So, um, that is that. Okay, let's move on real quick because I'm already at like 24 minutes. So, let's see. Okay, that's the okay. Let's go to 15. Here it is. Okay, and in the 15, y'all, we can see it so well. Again, so guess what? Price came up. This was a higher high. This is all correction. How do we know correction is ended? So we know this overall is a higher low, but I'm gonna move this out the way. So higher high. Let me see which one. Is this a higher low? Yes, it is. So I'm gonna move this one here. So this higher high created this higher low. This higher low created this lower high. This lower high created a lower low. Okay. It's a little small. This isn't marked, but lower high. We have some sellers sitting here pushing price back down. And then we have a lower low. Okay. Now this lower low did create another lower high. It's not marked, but it's there. But I'm gonna just leave right here. And then guess what? After this lower high, price should have, could have, and would have. So here, boom, boom, created this lower high again. It should have continued to push down, but it did not. What happened after it created this lower high, and I bet, hold on, I bet in the 5 minute, it's marked somehow, some way. Let's go to the 5. Somehow it is marked, right? So I just want it to be known. So but it's there. So this lower high right here in price would have, could have, and should have, if it wanted to continue this downtrend, went from here and then continued down, but it did not. Buyers stepped in right here, creating a higher low, breaking above, creating an indication, right? Boom. Correcting itself here, creating a higher low, and guess what? Okay, hopefully that's the end. And it continued up. Again, let's see if with supply and demand. Here in the 5 minute, here, so we have this break above this new structure. So this would have been the indication here. This right here was the last full zone, and I'm gonna add that little wick that price got into, right? Trying to think, is that, am I in the right spot? Yes. Okay. So again, price came here. This is a higher low, made a new high, right? Tapped back into that zone. Boom. And with her supply, her trading journal, her supply journal, her trading journal, she just goes back and she gets this high. So that would have been her trade. Great trade. Guess what? Anytime a new high, guess what? A new high was created here. This is all her trading journal is. So you would have got to tap into the zone. And you would have been waiting on price to go here. This would have been a long one. And depending on, and she does all the way to the outside of the zone. So this would have still been a good trade. So it would have been here to here. And again, in this, y'all, we got to keep in mind with these like smaller trades, these scalp trades that these are, because that's kind of what it is. All this is above a level where we know all of this is above a level we know buyers are in control. We know buyers are in control above this level. So if I go back into the 5 and I see that we're above a level where buyers are in control, anytime that I see a new high being created, I'll be looking for inputs. Let's see here. And for instance, even on this one, what was the last push up? Let's just say like right here, because this is the last level. This would have been an invalid trade for her because it broke through the level. And once I seen this happen, when I was trading, I knew that it was over for, and that's why I went ahead and exit. But that is overall the breakdown, my setup, how I got into the trade, where I should have gotten out of the trade but didn't. But it's all good. It's all learning lessons. And so, yeah. And I don't know if I marked everything up, but let me do it real quick here. And 15. Low, low, higher low, higher low. Low, high, high. And again, this was like the last zone from that push off. Invalid trade. Boom. All right, now I'm finished and done. Happy trading, everyone.